Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. So, report reaching us right now is that Ooni of Ife's chauffeur was really, in disbelief, and it was so much displeasure to see the way Queen Naomi reacted when Queen Naomi saw him at the airport waiting for her. So, between Lagos, Nami used to fly. I don't know, some people say to Ilorin that she used to fly. I don't know one of these airports, I don't know where it is, around Lagos. People fly from Lagos to that airport before they get to all of these states, this Yoruba state. It might not be Ilorin, but they say one of those airports. Because Ooni of Ife knew that Nami was going to fly back and now take a vehicle to Akure, usually the royal vehicle will be at the airport waiting for Olori Naomi. So now, before Ooni of Ife entered seclusion, Ooni of Ife made arrangement for the driver to monitor events, okay? So normally they have intel that used to tell them things. So when the driver found out that Nami was leaving Lagos back to Akure, they said he went, they even knew the time because they said up until now, they still use the same royal logistic officers to do their bookings and all of that. So they found out the time Nami will be arriving. So Ooni of Ife had left a standing instruction that the driver should go fetch Naomi when Naomi arrived and take her to Akure as royalty that she is. Usually, Ooni will leave one of his most prestigious vehicle for that purpose. And they said this time he did the same thing. But the man was at the airport waiting for Lori Naomi, and surely Naomi arrived as, earlier scheduled. And do you know that Naomi saw the driver? And they say what Naomi did would shock you after Naomi saw the driver, that people were there to pick her bags and all of that. Naomi saw the driver. She walked a little closer to the driver. She spoke to the driver. Like the driver usually would rush to Nami to pick vehicle. Nami was walking towards the driver. The driver was walking towards Naomi. And when the driver got there, the driver wanted to take Olori Naomi's back. Olori Naomi said no. And that no, she is not going in that vehicle, that she was going in her own private vehicle. And they said this will be one of those times, first time that is happening. And Nami basically ignored Ooni of Ife's royal chauffeur and the royal vehicle and picked a different vehicle and went to Akure. So this, from what the driver is saying, is that it goes to show the level of anger that is in Olori Naomi. That Olori Naomi is very displeased about the things that have been happening to her, and especially in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. That anybody who wants to minimize what Naomi is going through, that person does so to their own peril. That Naomi is not happy at all. The driver is the one who came to share this, that Naomi is very, very unhappy. That the way Naomi is disassociating herself with anything that has to do with the royal palace is worrisome, because they were thinking this event is going to be like normal, where Oni will beg and talk, Naomi will come back. Now, up until now, Naomi is saying she's never going to come back, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with the royal family. That she does not want to be a stumbling block. Let us stay with Kabiyesi and enjoy what they want to enjoy with Kabiyesi. That she has the right to move on with her life, which is exactly what she's trying to do. That people should support her decision because she's no longer a child. Right now, she does what she knows is in her best interest and in the best interest of her son. Tadenikawo is number one priority to Olori Naomi. Anything that is unhealthy for Tadenikawo, anything that will, put Tadenikawo's life at risk, anything that is going to hurt Tadenika is the last thing that Olori Naomi want to get into, no matter how colorful that may look. Yes, it is true that there's so much beauty and color in the life of the Ooni of Ife, by virtue of the fact that he is king and by virtue of the fact that he is a wealthy king, okay? The pedigree, the affluence, and everything. Any woman will want it, okay? Ooni of Ife just coffin will get up to 100 women who will be ready to even cater for themselves and be called his wives, okay? But right now, Olori Naomi is saying it's not all about money. It's not all about beauty. It's not all about affluence. It's not all about pedigree. That there's something called happiness in the life of everybody. Once there is no happiness in your life, no matter how much money you have, you may never be able to enjoy life. And above all, right now, Olori Naomi is saying that the decision that she's making it in the interest of Tadenikawo's safety. We saw what transpired immediately that baby came out of Ebony. Ebony, you saw how Ebony started dragging position with Tadenikawo's child. A report that made the rounds on social media that some are saying, I don't go and buy somebody's child, because Ebony is well aware that Tadenikawo is the first son. Ebony is well aware that Ooni of Ife got another child from Oletik, which is a boy, the twin, okay? And Ooni of Ife Ebony is aware of all of this. For her to have gone to post that, if not that they get say house and shut her up and ask her to apologize to Olori Naomi. So that alone should tell you that there is even a problem so that, problem that can hurt anybody or hurt Tadenikawo if Naomi is not careful. And they say one of the major reasons why Naomi is like saying zero, like zeroing her mind on this, like she is never going back, no matter what happens, is because of Tadenikawo. There have been a lot of prophecies lately, back and forth coming on the level of desperation and what these people are capable of doing to Tadenikawo. Because before long, they were thinking that Tadenikawo is the reason why Oni loved Olori Naomi. But after everything that has happened, they have seen that the relationship between Ooni of Ife and Olori Naomi is special, and it's something nobody will be able to deal with. And it has nothing to do with Tadenikawo. But the thread there is that Tadenikawo remains the first son to the Ooni of Ife. As we are hearing traditionally, Olori Naomi went through the 14 rituals. And as God will bless Olori Naomi, gave birth to a son for the Ooni of Ife. There's nobody who can cross that boy's head to become the crown prince, except, they do something to him. And then, remember that in the Ile Ife tradition, the crown prince or the first son does not necessarily bears the crown of becoming a king. But then Ifa chooses. So with the way things are going, on that day, with the kind of luck and the kind of grace that is upon the life of Olori Naomi, who told you that they will not choose Tadenikawo? They will, by the grace of God Almighty. And that is the reason why Naomi is protecting her child as much as possible. They say she ignored the royal vehicle and went with her own private vehicle. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, and speculated information making the rounds on social media. I'm going to bring you more update.